Hey, good morning, traders. Happy Tuesday. It's about 5 a.m. here in California, the 11th of February. How we doing? Trading going well? I'm just doing a little review. I put orders in yesterday, and I had drawn up a couple of things that I was looking at. The question I was asking myself was the quality of the watch. I was on the 2000 tick yesterday. Interesting. Just noticed that. Maybe the 750, but who knows? But I was just noticing the quality of this watch, right? It's just doesn't have any that real violent kind of pow pow to it. And this was just something I had drawn as the price swings up, pulled back, and waiting to see if it's going to expand. Now, my thoughts were that it's going to continue downward as price seems to be stepping down and is, not really headed the way that it was on its path before, I should say. So this is an unconfirmed swing because it hasn't taken anything out. We need it to come up here to be a confirmed swing. But right now it's an unconfirmed swing. Right now this is kind of the swing, right? We're in the middle of this whole thing and it's trying to get out of its way, but it's not, right? Which makes our job tough, because we want to set targets and we want to do things that are going to push us in that direction. But it's interesting, right? Andrew's pitchfork right to the center. So what was I thinking about yesterday? I was thinking about this thing here. Where am I at there? That's 8 o'clock hour, 8:15. And what I was doing, most of my mornings start out like this, talk to you guys. And I do a little work pre session here. I just want to get an understanding, like in this frame, this is kind of it, right? This is the swing that's going down, right? Check out the low, right? Is that the low? Somewhere there. Oh, the low's over here. That's about as much as I need. And, I'm just trying to understand more about what it is I'm after, how I can see it in different ways, how I can capitalize on it, and put it in a way that is going to put risk on my side, right? So I was drawing up this thing here, and that's the quality of the wash that I was asking about earlier. Let's just say it's right here for now. Nobody to argue with me. So, price, this is kind of hardly, that just took out the tops, right? This one here, it went through and I was thinking about something like this. I actually missed this trade yesterday, and I was kind of upset with myself because I was really questioning this whole thing, probably too much. And I said, let's just throw orders in. And as price took off here, I did. I put my orders in like right here. It didn't come down far enough, obviously. But I was like, and I'm fine with it. I'm not, I'm not, bummed that that's a nice trade, right? And that was to the tick. Oh, just a little short. I would have got out right here. I probably would have got out right here. Just knowing that the market's kind of on the other side of it. When I say other side, I mean that it's really not going up as fast as we'd like to see. And I play with the pitchforks. I learned from Tim Morge, he's a mentor of mine. He's a big pitchfork guy, market geometry. And I studied under his student Shane Blankenship as well. He really refined what it is I'm after. It took a while. This isn't something you're going to get overnight. And this is something that you have to fail at a lot of shipwrecks. And a shipwreck is, losing money. Like to me, that's what it was. I ended up getting my butt kicked. I didn't blow up, but, it made me really think about how I manage my trades. And now that's where I'm at now is like, I don't get a trade. I don't really care. I'm here tomorrow. I'll be here next week. I'll be here next year. So anyhow, prices come down. Let's go back to that pitchfork just to see what. So I don't know if you guys know this, but Alan Andrews had this probability that price would hit the center of the swing 80% of the time. And it happens on all the different swings too. So it's not like you can, it just, and it's a good target. If you're thinking of, selling, or if you're buying, you can say, okay, here's where I want to put my orders. To me, I've never been really good at catching it in the moment. I've always been kind of late or early. Another one, right? So if I bought this here, right, my stop would have to be up here. I couldn't be like, you still have to play by the rules. Where's your stop at? And you guys want to buy, this is kind of it's kind of a line. Yeah, it's kind of shelf. I'd rather buy the shelf, because I would almost be ready to get out. It's better trade. But some people trade differently. People want 1-to-1. People want 2-to-1. People don't know what they want, which makes this business hard. It took me a long time to figure that one out too. What are you after? Yeah, I'm after money. Okay, well, how are you going to get that? Well, I'm going to, trade. Okay, well, what are you going to trade? Well, what instrument do you want to trade? Well, I want to trade, something that's volatile. Okay, well, that narrows it down to, this group of stocks. And then how do you want to trade? Scalp? You want to dollar cost average? Is that trading or is that investing? I don't know. Use MACD. You want to use Fibonacci retracement. Like, what is it you want to use? And then you got to find somebody that's really, really good at that, so they can help you work through some of the things that are gonna come up. Hold on. I have my little heater here next to me. I don't have to heat the whole place. I can just heat my little space. It's cooking me. So yeah, that was kind of my idea yesterday. That wasn't bad, but again, I don't think I was too far off in thinking that price is gonna come off of there. What do we got here on our hourly? Big fat swing, right? That's all it's done. It hasn't broken out of this swing since the election, right? It took off. Everybody's excited. Oh, Trump's the man. We're going to do this. Blah, 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 blah. And then now they're settling in on what it is they actually got. And I think there's a lot of companies nervous about, funding. I was listening to a podcast yesterday about a doctor who studies fasting, and a lot of support on the value of fasting and how it helps you heal. But you don't have to buy a pill. You just have to not eat. So that's not sexy enough for people. And they want pills and Ozempic and all that stuff to help them. So I think companies, so he was talking about how he might lose his funding for his business. And that was my point about that. So I think there's a lot of companies. I know the federal workers, a friend of mine is in the business, and she's really nervous about her job because they just do grants for a lot of studies and things like that. If you need a, I don't know, I'd be guessing. Anyhow, so I think that this is kind of reflective of what everyone's feeling like. And I feel like anything could just topple this off. And, we'd still be up, but we would be, down here somewhere. Maybe that's what way it'll go. Who knows? The market the market will tell you. The market holds all the secrets. But yeah, I saw that thing step down. Even in our little frame here, we have a pressure cooker. I'll give that some color to contrast that. And then, and this is kind of how I get into my day too. I just sit back from afar and I try to get all the things that can get in the way out of my way. For example, where's my stop? Right, I got to stop right here. And if you're new here, a stop is ultimately where you want to hide behind because you want price. You want price to be able to stop and turn. And you want to be protected. So those are my two spots right now that I'm thinking that I'm going to just keep an eye on. And if it breaks, hey, I can sell. I don't care. I'll sell that, But I do want to have just a working knowledge about where I'm going to be, how I'm going to get into it. We got any news this week? I think this week's pretty slow. Tuesday, 5:30 building permits, 7 Fed chair. So 7:15, 7:30. There's going to be some fluctuation probably just because the market's reacting really violently to anything. The mouse farts in the White House and they're going to jump. Tomorrow we got some stuff, some consumer price index. Thursday looks like some more unemployment claims are coming out. So anyhow, there's a couple things. Nothing too serious. And let's just take a quick review of what it is we're after. Right? We're looking for a couple of things. We're looking for an impulse leg. Right? Price leaves one swing, goes to the next. Contraction and expansion. So expansion, contracts, expansion. So then we want to look for a shelf in this expansion leg. Something that's going to give us an idea of where prices kind of hold up. Because what we want to see is a wash where a price comes in and cleans out the shelf and then takes off for a new low to make a new swing, but they stop it and then they come back to the shelf to load up on their orders and then they leave. So the trick is to identify really steps 3 and 4. Steps 2 and 1 and 2, and that's why yesterday when I was looking at the shelf, or the wash, you could see how hard that big bar is, how violent that is. Just boom, 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 boom. That one was like soft. It wasn't too, and then I like to get out near the end because when this happens, you want to be out. Price keeps moving around. So I know what gets me in. I know what gets me out. And why I show up every day to do this is because I want to be really clear in what that means to me. Now, price is coming off here pretty good. I don't know what I could even mark on the other side. I don't like to look to the left too much. I like to be aware of it because, price is going to run into something. There's orders. I imagine there's orders right in here somewhere, right? This is kind of a swap, right? Price was going down and then it got zoomed and it kind of, price swapped. Price is going down, swaps and goes up. Price is going down, swaps and go up. So boom. So there's a couple things there you gotta just keep your eyes on. And I just want to see if what kind of resistance we're going to run into. And sorry, I'm just making some notes in my head or on my sheet as I'm doing some things. I don't know what's going to happen, but I just want to, if I'm going to have a target down here, if I'm going to be, okay, I want to land right down here to get my 3-to-1 trade. I want to know what I have to do to get there, right? Just as much as when I'm here buying this, I know that I've got to go through this pressure cooker here to get to higher highs, right? The same thing with the kill zone here, it's stopped, so I'm not shorting here to get down here, it's got to take this thing out. So when I'm sitting there thinking about my plan, I look at, what's it going to run into, where the problem's going to be, what are the, what's going to happen along the way for me to be like, okay, I got to pay attention to this. This is almost like a reverse. And I don't really trade this that much because I'm always late to it. I always feel like something's going to happen and I really don't have a good stop. But if this is like a shelf, it's like a reverse shelf, right? Price breaks through this stop, this pivot, this wash, and you can have an order up here, and now you got in, and I guess you could, it's a 3-to-1 trade. It's just kind of a weird one. Why I think it works and why I see it, often is that as price breaks down, it's zoom there, pulls back, zoom, pull back, zoom, pull back, and then I look at what does it have to beat on the upside, and it's this guy, right? So that to me is just trying to see it in a different way. The downside is a little different. The downside, it has all the components, but oftentimes the shelf can be really hidden, right? If you're trading this here, look at this. See, impulse leg down, pulls back up. There's one little thing there. To call that a shelf is pretty big. And the only reason why I call that a shelf is I can see it in hindsight, and I can see over here it stopped on the shelf, and then it continued. Stopped on the shelf, and then it continued. As it breaks through here, it's stopping at the shelf here. It's playing the shelf, I should say. And it's actually playing the backside of the kill zone, which is common. I don't even know. Because the thing that I think what happens is that people lose their position and they have to reposition to keep their money flowing. So you'll see this, and that's why here, if you brought this kill zone down here, we still see action. We don't, we see it here at the end, and that's the trade you want right there. That guy. If you could figure out how to do this every day, that's your nut right there. Take that home and go to town with that guy. Somewhere in there. That's the one you want. I'm not good enough to get that. I'm working on it. I catch it. I definitely do, but I don't always catch it. I'm too, I don't know if price. You don't know if price is going to come back, right? You just leave. That's how my Bill ended up becoming a scalper. He's like, I don't want to deal with that. I just want to be on the trade, and he's usually pretty good about it. He'll catch the trade. He'll look at something like like I don't know how you know what, I'm not even. Essentially, he looks like these hard moves down, because he wants to get the move, and I'm in the same way, right? He wants to get the um, he wants to get the move down into here. So what he'll do is buy. He'll see this and maybe buy something here with a stop up here somewhere, and then he'll get this. And then as it's pulling up, he'll just take a little chunk and get stopped out, but he'll get 4 or 5 handles out of the thing. But my problem is this: I'll see this here, right? And I'll put my order in, down here, and then I just get gobbled up. And I just can't. I've never figured out exactly how he does it. He sees it differently than I do. Anyhow, all right. Well, market's about to open. Well, the pre-market, I should say. It's 5:30. I don't think there was anything going on, so it's probably not going to be too interesting. But anyhow, know what you're in, or know what gets you in, know what gets you out, know what you're after. Really draw it out, right? The impulse leg, the shelf, the wash. What gets you in? Behind the wash, you want to hide behind the wash. Give me 3 or 4 of these a week, dude. That's it. They're out there. You just got to catch them. And then, manage your trade. And, if you get your 3-to-1 trade, stop. Go do something else. Go on sim and sim it for a while if you want to keep trading. But don't blow your cash. All right, talk tomorrow.